स्वरूपाय नमः। ॐ श्री साई परिग्रामोद्भवाय नमः। ॐ श्री साई क्षेत्र निवासिने नमः। ॐ श्री साई यशकाय शिरडीवासिने नमः। ॐ श्री साई जोड़ियाद्रिपल्ली सोमपाय नमः। ॐ श्री साई भारद्वाज ऋषिगोत्राय नमः। ॐ श्री साई भक्तवत्सलाय नमः। ॐ श्री साई अपान्तरात्मने नमः। ॐ श्री साई अवतार मूर्तये नमः। ॐ श्री साई सर्वभयनिवारिणे नमः। ॐ श्री साई आपस्तम्भसूत्राय नमः। ॐ श्री साई अभयप्रदाय नमः। ॐ श्री साई रत्नाकर वंशोद्भवाय नमः। ॐ श्री साई शिरडी साई अभेद शक्ति अवताराय नमः। ॐ श्री साई शंकराय नमः। ॐ श्री साई शिरडी साई मूर्तये नमः। ॐ श्री साई द्वारकामाय वासिने नमः। ॐ श्री साई चित्रावती तटपुत्रपत्निहारिणे नमः। ॐ श्री साई शक्तिप्रदाय नमः। ॐ श्री साई शरणागतत्राणाय नमः। ॐ श्री साई आनन्दाय नमः। ॐ श्री साई आनन्ददाय नमः। ॐ श्री साई आर्तत्राणपरायणाय नमः। ॐ श्री साई अनाथनाथाय नमः। ॐ श्री साई असहाय सहायाय नमः। ॐ श्री साई लोकबान्धवाय नमः। ॐ श्री साई लोकरक्षापरायणाय नमः। ॐ श्री साई लोकनाथाय नमः। ॐ श्री साई दीनजनपोषणाय नमः। ॐ श्री साई मुक्तित्रयस्वरूपाय नमः। ॐ श्री साई मुक्तिप्रदाय नमः। ॐ श्री साई कलुषविदुराय नमः। ॐ श्री साई करुणाकराय नमः। ॐ श्री साई सर्वाधाराय नमः। ॐ श्री साई सर्वविद्वासिने नमः। ॐ श्री साई सर्वपुण्यफलप्रदाय नमः। ॐ श्री साई सर्वपापक्षयकराय नमः। ॐ श्री साई सर्वरोगनिवारिणे नमः। ॐ श्री साई सर्वबाधाहराय नमः। ॐ श्री साई अनन्तदुर्गकर्त्रिणे नमः। ॐ श्री साई Shri Sai Sundarupaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Punya Purushaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Bhalapradaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Purushottamaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Purana Purushaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Advaitaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Kalayitaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Siddhirupaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Siddhasankalpaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Arogyapradaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Annavastradaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Samsara Dukkhakshayakaraya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Sarvabhishtapradaaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Kalyana Gunaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Karma Dhamsine Namaha. Om Shri Sai Sadhu Manasa Shobhitaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Sarvamata Sammataya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Sadhu Manasa Parishodhakaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Sadhakanugrahavata Vrishya Pratishtapakaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Sakala Samshayaharaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Sakala Tattva Bodhakaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Yogishwaraya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Yogindravanditaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Sarvamangalkaraya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Sarvasiddhipradaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Apannivariye Namaha. Om Shri Sai Aartiharaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Shantamurtaye Namaha. Om Shri Sai Sulabhaprasannaya Namaha. Om Shri Bhagavan Shri Satya Sai Baba. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Vinayaka, Vinayaka, शिरडी के साए परती के बाबा, शिरडी के साए परती के बाबा, शिरडी के साए परती के बाबा, शिरडी के साए परती के बाबा। तुम हो हमारे प्यारे साईं बाबा, 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 शिरडी के साईं परती के बाबा, शिरडी के साईं परती के बाबा। प्रेममया साईं प्रेम प्रदाता, प्रेममया साईं प्रेम प्रदाता, प्रेममया साईं प्रेम प्रदाता, प्रेममया साईं प्रेम प्रदाता। ईश्वरानंदन जगत परिपाला, ईश्वरानंदन जगत पाप विनाशक परम पिता, पाप विनाशक परम पिता, शिरडी के साईं परती के बाबा, शिरडी के साईं परती के बाबा। तुम हो हमारे प्यारे साईं बाबा, तुम हो हमारे प्यारे साईं बाबा, शिरडी के साईं परती के बाबा, शिरडी के साईं परती के बाबा। प्रेममया साईं प्रेम प्रदाता, प्रेममया साईं प्रेम प्रदाता, ईश्वरानंदन जगत परिपाला, पाप विनाशक परम पिता, पाप विनाशक परम पिता। शिरडी के साईं परती के बाबा।
अस्थिरं जीवनं लोके, अस्थिरं यवनं धनम्, अस्थिरं धरा पुत्रादि, सत्यं कीर्ति द्वयं स्थिरम्।
The life is temporary. The youth and prosperity also are temporary. The wife and the family, they're all temporary. But two are permanent. Truth and good name are permanent.
ప్రేమ స్వరూపులారా,
Embodiments of love.
దైవాన్ని నమ్మితే ఒక్క మాట పైన అన్ని మాటల పైన దాన్ని నమ్మాలి.
We should follow God in total faith in whatever He says.
నీకు ఇష్టమైనటువంటి దానిపై నమ్మకము, ఇష్టం లేని దానిపై నమ్మకం లేకుండా పోవటము అది సరైనటువంటి ఒక విశ్వాసం కాదు.
You have faith if you like that, and you have no faith if you dislike it. It's not proper.
ఒక చిన్న ఉదాహరణ,
A small example.
ఒక 10 సంవత్సరముల పూర్వము
10 years before,
ఒక పెద్ద మనిషి
an elderly person
సత్సాయి బాబా ఈజ్ గాడ్ 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 అని చెప్పాడు.
declared that Satsai Baba is God, God.
సత్సాయి బాబానే కాదు, ప్రతి జీవి ఎందుకు గాడ్ ఉన్నాడు.
In fact, God is present in every individual.
కానీ ఆ విధంగా చాటుతూ వచ్చారు.
He went on declaring like that.
తిరిగి తమ యొక్క అభిష్టమును కొంతవరకు విరుద్ధంగా మారినప్పటికీ ఈజ్ నాట్ గాడ్, ఈజ్ నాట్ గాడ్.
The moment when his desires are not fulfilled, he said he is not God.
ఎస్ నో రెండు చెప్పింది ఒకే నోరే.
The same man declared yes and no.
ఆనాడు ఎస్ అన్నాడు,
He said yes then.
ఈనాడు నో అన్నాడు.
Today he says no.
అది నిజమా, ఇది నిజమా?
Is that true or is this true?
ఏదో ఒకటి ఇందులో అబద్ధం ఒకటి ఉంది కదా.
One must be false out of these two.
కానీ ఏది అబద్ధము?
What are lies?
ఆనాడు చెప్పిందైనా అబద్ధమే, ఈనాడు చెప్పిందైనా అబద్ధమే.
That which has been said then must have been blatant lie, or that what has been said
ఇలాంటి
now.
రెండు పదములు చేరినటువంటి వారికి ఏ విధంగా భావించాలి? అది ఏ రాక్షస కృత్యం.
The one who made contradictory statements is a demon.
ఎస్ అను వారికి ఎస్ అనురా,
God says yes to those that say
నో
yes.
అను వారికి నో అనురా.
If you say no, God says
నో
no.
ఎస్ నీ నోటికి కానీ సాయికి సర్వం ఎస్ ఎస్ ఎస్.
Yes, no belong to you, your declaration, your feeling, but to Sai God, everything is yes.
నాకు అందరూ మంచివారే,
To Bhagavan, all are good.
ఎవరు చెడ్డవారు లేరు.
There are no bad people.
కానీ
But
లౌకికమైన ఈ యొక్క నెగిటివ్ భావాలతో కూడినటువంటి వారికి కొంచెం మంచి చెడ్డలు విచారించుకోకుండా పోతే వాడి జీవితమే నాశనం చేసుకుంటారు.
But from the worldly point of view, if you are not cautious of the negative behavior, you will be spoiling your life.
కనుకనే మీకు కొన్ని చెప్పవలసి వస్తుంది.
So Bhagavan had to teach you these things.
నాకు అందరూ ప్రీతియే,
Bhagavan likes all.
నేను అందరినీ ప్రేమిస్తాను.
Swami loves all.
కానీ కొన్ని ఇలాంటి సందిగ్ధ అవస్థలు ఎందుకు మాత్రం వారికి నిచ్చి చెప్పాలి.
But when we are confused, Bhagavan should choose to teach us.
లేకపోతే మీ జీవితానికి చాలా ప్రమాదం ఏర్పడుతుంది.
Or else you will be put to danger in your life.
కనుక ఎవరెవరి డౌట్స్ వాళ్ళలో ఉండవచ్చును.
You may have doubts.
డౌట్స్ లేకుండా ఏ మానవుడు ఉండడానికి వీలు కాదు.
No man can live without doubts.
కాబట్టి ఆ డౌట్స్కి మీరు చోటు ఇవ్వద్దండి.
So don't give scope for any doubt.
అది ఉండినంత వరకు కూడా నిన్ను అనేక విధంగా అశాంతికి గురి వచ్చేస్తుంది.
The doubt in you will make you restless, agitated.
ప్రేమను మీరు పెంచుకోండి.
Develop love.
ప్రేమ మీ హృదయం నిండుకు పెంచుకున్నప్పుడే
When there is love in your heart,
సర్వము ప్రేమమయమే.
everything will be full of love.
ఆ ప్రేమ దగ్గర ద్వేషం అనేది ఉండదు.
Where there is love, there is no hate.
ద్వేషం లేనప్పుడు క్రోధం అనేది రాదు.
When there is no hatred, there is no
క్రోధం
anger.
అనేది లేనప్పుడు ఈ హింసలే పాల్గొంటారు.
When there is no anger, there is no violence.
కనుకనే దేర్ ఈజ్ విశ్వాసం అనగా కాన్ఫిడెన్స్ ఉంటుందో అక్కడనే ట్రూత్ వస్తుంది.
Where there is confidence, there is truth.
వేర్ దేర్ ఈజ్ ట్రూత్,
Where there is truth,
దేర్ ఈజ్ పీస్.
there is peace.
వేర్ దేర్ ఈజ్ పీస్,
Where there is peace,
దేర్ ఈజ్ బ్లిస్.
there is bliss.
వేర్ దేర్ ఈజ్ బ్లిస్,
Where there is bliss,
దేర్ ఈజ్ గాడ్.
there is God.
కనుకనే మొట్టమొదటి విశ్వాసాన్ని పెంచుకోండి.
So first, we should cultivate faith.
ఆ విశ్వాసమే లేకున్నప్పుడు ఎంతమంది ఏమి ప్రయోజనం?
Without this faith, what for is the human life?
అందరినీ నమ్ము, తప్పు లేదు.
There is nothing wrong if you believe in,
కానీ దైవభావంతో నీవు విశ్వసించు.
but have faith with the divine prompting.
ఆ దైవభావంతో విశ్వసించినప్పుడు సర్వము నీకు దైవత్వంగానే కనిపిస్తుంది.
With the spiritual promptings, everything would be divine.
I offer my most humble and prayerful pranams at the divine lotus feet of our beloved Bhagavan. On behalf of all the centers in Region 5 and the Sri Satya Sai Center of Leeds as the host, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you to this auspicious Aradhana Day celebration. I would also like to extend my greetings to all the people who have joined us on the live stream today. So a loving Sairam to all of you. For people who don't know me, my name is Santosh. I'm the Joint Regional Spiritual Coordinator, along with Brother Vinesh, who is managing the PA today. So both of us take care of all the spiritual matters for the region. And I also act as the President for the Sri Sathya Sai Center of Leeds. So it's lovely to see all of you present here for this auspicious occasion of Bhagwan's Aradhana Day. Let me take a moment to reflect on what is the significance of celebrating Bhagwan's Aradhana Mahotsav. So the Aradhana Day brings in a range of emotions when it comes to all the Sai devotees. For some people, it is a day when they've went through the pain of losing the opportunity to see Swami's beautiful physical form. For other people, it is about reflecting deeper into Swami's teachings and his life and his messages. So the true essence of celebrating Aradhana Day is to delve deeper into our own spiritual sadhana, understand the significance of Bhagwan's teachings, and make sure that we don't lose our faith in it. So it's very important that we remain steadfast in our faith on Bhagwan and his teachings. So that brings me on nicely to our theme for the program. The theme for today is Faith in Humanity Through Divinity. So Bhagwan inspired us with this wonderful theme when we were planning for this program. And as always, his guiding hand has always been felt as we have planned this program and put all the items together. So collectively, the regional team with representation from all centers has come up with a beautiful selection of items for you today. So we have started off with the wonderful prayers, and what better way than to start with the divine 108 names of Bhagwan, which kind of encapsulate his whole life and teachings in those beautiful 108 names. We have two wonderful Balvikas items being presented by the children from Leeds, and then later on by the children from Halifax Sai Center. We have a beautiful musical program in the middle session, and the highlight of the day is a discussion between various Sai devotees on how to delve deeper into this theme of faith and how can we approach it from different angles and share our experiences as to what faith means to each and every one of us. And then towards the concluding part of the program, we have a few more bhajans, and we have Brother Malcolm, who has come all the way from beautiful Lake District to address us and share his experiences with Bhagwan. So I hope all of you enjoy the program today. Just a few housekeeping points before I finish. The fire doors are to the right here, so this door with the metal stairs leading into the car park, so that's the fire exit. We don't expect any fire alarms today, but if you do listen the alarm sounding, please make your way to the car park and await further instructions from the volunteers. The toilets are located just outside the hall to your left, and Mahaprasad will be served later on in the hall downstairs. A humble request to everyone, because we are live streaming this program and so many people are watching it, not just within the UK and the region, but all across the world. Please try to maintain silence as much as possible. Please restrict your movement around the camera and around Swami, because Baba is verily seated amongst us, so let's try to maintain discipline at all times. I know a lot of people will be eager to click photographs, but the media team has ensured that they'll click all the photos of all the items and then share it with the rest of the region later on. So please don't worry. Please be seated at all times and maintain silence. And I also request that you put your mobile phones on silent to avoid creating any disturbances. So before I finish, I would like to introduce the first item for the day, which is a drama by the Balvikas children of the Leeds Sai Center. The skit is named as Shraddha and Saburi. So this must be a very familiar teaching to all of you from the times of Shirdi Sai Baba, which means faith and patience, and Swami has himself gone into this in a lot of detail in his various discourses. So during this presentation, you will see how the children demonstrate the experience of a GCSE student as he navigates through the challenges of preparing for an exam and dealing with the information overload that we currently experience around us. And then at the end, beautifully, it will show how the student is able to take refuge at Swami's lotus feet and take help of his faith, and then finally overcome all the challenges that he faces. So please welcome the children of Bal Vikas children of Sri Satya Sai Center of Leeds. Jai Sai.
Our humble pranams at the lotus feet of our dear Bhagavan, and a loving Sairam to all of you. We, the children of Sri Satya Sai Center of Leeds, would like to present a story of how faith and patience are the true charioteers of our lives. Shraddha and Saburi have been the hallmarks of learning from the life and teachings of Sri Shuddhi Sai Baba, and today we embark on a journey of emphasizing the importance of these values in our day-to-day life. On a journey from Manava to Madhava, the first and constant step is always faith, and the learning is always patience and perseverance to endure the highs and lows of the journey.
We live in an age of information, of knowledge at our fingertips. Information is so easily available that we can sometimes get confused between our wants and our needs. At times like these, it is our faith on the divine, faith on ourselves, our hard work and patience, which will get us past any fogs of doubt and confusion.
Our protagonist today is Parth, a devout Bhagavad student who has worked very hard through his GCSE studies. He began his mock exams tomorrow and is very stressed. He has worked very hard and diligently studied and really done his best work so far.
Even Arjun, the great Pandava, experienced a situation of doubt and confusion at Kurukshetra, and it was the Lord, his Sarathi, who helped him understand the importance of his duty as a Kshatriya and tide through the war. Today we live through Kurukshetra in our heads, every day battling the good versus bad, right versus wrong, need versus desire. Our faith on our Swami and his teachings are what tide us through life. Let us see how his Baldika's values tied him through this internal war raging through Parth's head.
I can't remember anything. I'm going to forget. Swami, please help me. What will I do tomorrow? I wish I could just Google in the exam and write the answers. In the times we live in, who cares what knowledge is? All you need is access to Google and the answers are ready made. I don't know what to do. Parth is very restless, Abba. Do you think he's going to be okay tomorrow? He is tired, nervous and restless.
I don't think so, sister. His fear is very deep-rooted. The fear of what will happen has completely clouded his judgment. Oh, look! He seems to be going into a dream state. Let's see what will happen now.
I am Parth's consciousness. He has worked so hard for his exams, but his body and mind are so tired now that his fears are playing up. I have set up a mind game for him to understand the importance of his own self-confidence and hard work. People disregard the importance of their consciousness. I am that little voice in your head that stops you from doing wrong, that tells you when your need is turning into greed. But Parth's fears are louder than his confidence in me. So when he sleeps and his mind and brain are quiet, I can show him the value of his learnings from Bal Vikas. Come along and watch with me.
Hi Band, how are you? Remember me? I am ChatGPT. You installed me on your system, thinking you want to see what everyone else is talking about. What's happening?
I am feeling a bit lost. Where am I? Oh, you are in the information hub, the market of information, if you would like to call us. I am the artificial intelligence expert. Ask me anything you want. Don't burden yourself. I have access to more networks than you can imagine. I am extremely famous, as you know. Not only will I give you information, but I'll make it sound so smart that all you need to do is just use it. I am the king of modeling information to look supremely smart. You'll come out with flying colors just copying from me. Knowledge is not needed anymore, Parth. Rest your mind. But aren't you just a good reference than just copying everything from you? Asking you for information is one thing, but completely taking everything from you doesn't seem right to me. What are you doing, Bart? He is giving away all information. Just take it. What is it with you both of us kids? I can never influence you. Look, you're tired. He's giving us some info. Let's take it and go. We can then go finally play. It's been only work all this past year. When will we go binge on some sports or PlayStation? Come on, take the information and let's finally go and chill out. Playing and relaxing does sound good, but what about wisdom? What about knowledge? All overrated. Stop listening to everyone. Listen to me. Let's take this information from this GPT guy. He seems to be making it smart as well. I have to run. This hard work guy always keeps towering and scaring me. Who are you now?
I am your hard work path. I have come to help you. I saw laziness come over and confuse you.
So, what is your take on all of this information? I am so confused.
It's good to have information. We are very lucky to have access to so many avenues today, but sheer information is not enough. It is our discrimination to choose what is correct, what is enough for us, and consume what is necessary. That is equally important. I think you need a guide, Parth. Let me call in the reinforcements. I'm going to call the two most important guides we need for our life: faith and patience.
Did your tall friend leave? Oh, thank God. Right then, where were we?
Hello, I am Google and I am very smart. Unlike what Mr. AI says, I am the OG information god. Tell me what you want, Parth. I have all the answers to your questions.
I know about you, Mr. Google. You have been of immense help to me, prepping for my lessons and assignments.
I don't need to model anything and play around looking smart. I am smart. Why do you think I have stuck through in spite of all of the hustles and bustles of the internet world?
Hey Bart, you don't need these two all the time. Sometimes information can be boring by itself. Come and enter in the world of social media. We not only provide information, but we also make it visually appealing. Do you know how many times I've made people break their shopping resolutions?
As good as that sounds, why should information be packaged? What will I do with all
information in the world. Surely I need to do my research too. I make the world closer, Bhajan. How would your school friend know where you are going out to lunch? Otherwise, it's all me, man.
Have a think, Path. You need us. There is no walking away from that. Sooner you realize, the better for you. Your mind is not as powerful as us. We have the power of millions and trillions of neural networks powering us.
Path, what are you doing? This is not the time to walk away. It's time to seize. Greed, you are no good to me. You're always misguiding me. No, Pa, think about it. With all these tools to be the topper in the class, there is no such thing as a right path. It's only winning and losing. No, I don't agree with this. Knowledge is important. Maybe, but it will anyway help you win. Someone is giving this to us without any effort. Instead of taking the easy way out, you're walking away. Let's win. Come on now.
We are going to forget everything. Did you study enough? Did you study properly? Was this all we needed to do? Is this enough? Pa, I think it is geography tomorrow. Oh dear. No, it is history. I am not sure. I wonder if the exam began yesterday and we are already late. What time is it again? Oh no! This is so confusing! Pa, you are confused! What is going to happen tomorrow? Confusion and doubts! Confusion and doubts!
Om Sai 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 Om.
Pa, wake up! You have all the necessary strength you need. All these clouds, they are only trying to distract you. Get up and let us see what the problem truly is.
I'm at a loss. I don't know what to do. There's too much information, and I have no idea if I can do my exams tomorrow. I don't think I can retain any of the information in my head. Everyone here says knowledge is overrated. But I need to trust myself, my Bal Vikas values, my own hard work. What do I do?
All true, but wouldn't you rather trust yourself and your own work than some external tools? Are they so convincing that you would rather forget your own hard work?
How do I do that? On one side, I have all of this information that is so readily available and packaged. On the other side, there is so much competition in this world that there is no place to be weak. Laziness and greed cloud my mind and judgment. And those tiny little doubts and confusion fog, don't even get me started on them. I am trying my best to hold on, but I feel like a kite on a windy day. I trust my values, my Bal Vikas, my Swami, but I am too weak to hold on to anything anymore. I am sinking in this swamp of information.
Do you remember the story of Prahalada Path? The story of Narasimha that you learnt in Bal Vikas? Prahalada not only had confidence that Lord Narayana was everywhere and will protect him, but also the patience to stay steadfast to his bhakti. He was also surrounded by everyone who worked very hard to disprove his faith, to throw him off his path, just like you are being overstretched by these avenues of information today. But Prahalada had belief in his devotion to Narayana and belief in himself that his Lord will always protect him.
So what am I missing, Faith? I love Swami too, and I have complete surrender to him. I have learned Balavikas too. And yet, here we are.
Your faith is with you, Path, holding your hand, but you will only ever truly walk through these situations happily when you have enough faith in your own self and patience to hold on to your faith. We are all an embodiment of the divine. Unless we trust our own abilities, how do you ever hope to succeed? Swami says for the mansion of life, self-confidence is the foundation.
Hello, Path. I am Patience. You have been ignoring me lately. Your faith in Swami will always keep you on the right path, even with so many enticing ways that laziness and greed give. You held on to doing the right thing. I am your silent strength, Path. Hold on tight. In every path you choose, as long as you are patient, the right results will always manifest.
Is it as easy as that? Have faith in your values and have patience? Is that all we need?
Man wants instant happiness and success today. If only life was simple as instant noodles, cook in 5 minutes, and move on. Patience is not an easy virtue to develop, one that will take a long time to master. However, success comes to those who persevere and keep going even in the darkest of times. As long as your heart is in the right place, your faith is guiding your mind and you trust your own self and be patient, success will definitely be yours.
History has time and again shown the importance of Shraddha and Saburi. Whether you take the life of Bhakta Prahalada or Mirabai or Saint Tukaram, did they not face hardships? Did they get indebted? They stayed on the right course, had faith in their gods and in their own devotion. They stayed patient and hence were rewarded with divine bliss.
You have worked very hard, Path. I have faith. You shall definitely achieve what is meant for you. But in the meantime, trust your own work, trust your values to not let you stray away from your path, and most importantly, be patient. When the time comes, no one can stop you from being your best self.
I feel very relieved. Thank you. I truly believe if we put our best foot forward, work hard, and have faith, we will truly not go wrong. I needed this lesson on faith and perseverance. I need to learn to ingrain patience in my life. This is the only way we will never lose sight of our goals and lose stride. Thank you, Swami. I'm ready for my challenge tomorrow.
Such a dream that was. On one end there was the easy information hub, and on the other hand there was social media, greed, and laziness pulling us to a side, and clouds of confusion and doubts running through everywhere. And yet Path woke up with a smile, rested, assured, and happy.
That's because he finally learned faith will tide us through all situations. We need to put in our hard work, be perseverant, and then have the patience to see Swami's magic unfold. Unless we put in our 100%, no one can help us. At the same time, we also need confidence and faith in ourselves that everything will work out right in the end, as long as we stay on the side of truth. If we are not patient, we risk losing sight of our goal and walking away from the right path. Swami always says, "For the mansion of life, self-confidence is the root." If one does not have faith in themselves, how will they have any conviction? Patience is all the strength man needs, and as long as we have these two with us, our lives will be truly fulfilling. Jai Sai Ram.
Sairam, everyone. My name is Prahlad Nadella. I'll be the Joint Regional Young Adult Coordinator with Hariharan Muthukrishnan, who's currently in Qatar, I believe, but he will return, or so he said at least to me, but we'll see. And I just want to say, what a fantastic, well thought out, perfectly executed skit by the Leeds Sai Centre Bhajan. I think the way they took us through all those different emotions and all these very real world emotions and showed that actually without the struggle, you don't get the faith and the patience and things. So like Swami said, all the clouds that we have in the sky, they must exist and they will cast shadows, but if you stick to the sunlight, then you'll always feel the warmth and you'll be able to see where you're going. So I think that was a really good demonstration of that. And all the actors, I think the thing that specifically stuck out to me was the sound quality and how you all learnt your lines as well, and it just fit perfectly with what you guys were saying, and that's something quite difficult to get right, but you guys were immaculate at that, so brilliant. And equal importance to the guys who organised that as well, so it's not possible to do that skit without all the costumes and everything, especially the birds flying around. It was great. And that very real life simulation of what your brain feels like when you have confusion and doubt, so that was very good as well. So next we'll be moving on to a panel discussion. So this will be hosted by Brother Ketan Parmar, who is our regional president for this calendar year. And this panel discussion will kind of pick the brains of some of our devotees, and we'll talk about real life scenarios and stuff that they experienced, and I'll let Ketan come and introduce the rest of the panel. Sairam.
Jai Sai Ram, everyone. It's lovely to see so many of you here this morning. And what a wonderful Balvikas play we just had, which nicely leads into what we will be discussing today. So just praying that Bhagavan asks the questions through us and answers the questions through us as well. Some people declare, I have no faith in God. This is a meaningless statement. If they have no faith in God, on whom else do they have faith? Only when one develops faith in God can one have faith in everything else. Therefore, one has to develop faith in God in the first instance. With faith in God, one can achieve success in all endeavours. One who has faith in God will be able to develop faith in every individual. Such a person will develop a firm conviction that God is immanent in every living being. And Bhagavan said that in October 2004. So welcome to our Insights discussion session today, where we will be delving deeper into the theme for the programme, which is faith in humanity through divinity. And we have some familiar faces here who will be sharing what this theme means to them and how it affects their day-to-day life. But rest assured that you'll all be getting involved as well. There'll be some hands up, there'll be some stand up as well, so be ready for that too. And at the same time, as our discussion is going on, you'll see that there'll be a word cloud forming on the screen here, which highlights some of the key themes that come out of our discussions today. So, firstly, I would like to start with Sister Radhu and ask each of our panelists to introduce themselves and say which centre they are from.
Sairam. Yeah, there we go. My name's Radhu or Radha, and I mostly attend Manchester Sai Centre. I am a qualified doctor and paediatric surgeon, and have recently gone rogue, let's say, and do a lot more work on coaching and looking at the root cause of why we get illnesses, and working with people and on their beliefs and understandings around their health, which is where a lot of faith and spirituality comes in as well.
Sairam everyone, my name is Mahima and I'm a part of the Bradford Sai Centre. I'm currently in year 11, gonna do my GCSEs this year, so I really could relate to the skit done by the Leeds Sai Centre children, and I'm very grateful that they could show it to everyone. And I'm very honoured to be sitting here and giving my opinions on the matter, so thank you.
Thank you very much, Mahima.
Sairam, I'm Sunil. I attend Warrington Sai Centre. Professionally, I work as a doctor, as a cardiologist, that's a heart doctor in Liverpool. And I'm very honoured also that you invited me to share some of my experiences today. Thank you.
Most of my pronouns are the road is sweet. My name is Kailash. I'm from Newcastle. I'm a social entrepreneur. I manage a couple of community interest companies. That's professionally. As far as Swami is concerned, myself and Pravina, we've been actually the Sai Centre president for the last 18 years as far as Newcastle Sai Centre is concerned. Sarah, it's a blessing to be here.
Thank you, everyone. So, to start with, I'm going to ask you all the question. So, who has faith? Well, that was a very slow response, seeing as though we've come to a spiritual event. Okay. So, who has faith? Hands up. In the sky. Fantastic. Now, let's pick on someone to start with. So, I saw Gummel Uncle's hand go up. Gummel Uncle, in a one sentence, why do you have faith?
Oh dear.
Difficult. Right. What is it that makes you have faith?
What makes me have faith is, I think, the moment I came into the Signfold, I mean, before that, I guess I didn't have any faith, and it's that focus and that connection and belief more than anything else. And once you're immersed into Bhagwan's fold and his activities, then I think faith is just a natural element.
Yes. Lovely, thank you. So connection, belief, excellent. On this side, who can I pick on this side? Joshna Auntie, why do you have faith?
Like Kamal Bhai, I wasn't into any of this as a young person. We did pray to Satya Sai Baba, but it was as a child. Growing up, going through various strong challenges in life, I've always felt that Baba's been there to give me the strength. I think most importantly, the perseverance.
Yes.
You know, one can get really impatient, but I think you have to be patient. And like they said in the drama, it's not an instant cook, 5-minute job. It is a tough journey, but you have to hang in there and you find your own path to faith.
Yes, thank you very much. So yes, challenges and that Shraddha and Saburi again are really important for our faith. Thank you very much. So, I would like to start with our youngest member on our panel. So, Mahima, can you tell us, what, in your words, what does faith mean?
Faith to me is having unwavering trust in God, who holds great power and divine grace. It's my belief that God is guiding us and looking after us. For me, faith brings a sense of comfort, hope, and purpose to one's life.
Thank you. And I saw some heads nodding, so we all agree. So, Brother Sunil, coming to you, there's things that cause our faith to be there, as Kamal Uncle described, Josh Nanti described. So can you share some experiences which have strengthened your faith?
Yeah, I think what you say is really important, that I think our experiences strengthen our faith. Maybe just share 3 very brief experiences. So the first one was back in '96. I just started university at medical school. I'd gone to Puttaparthi for the Christmas holidays that year. And of course it's an uncertain time, I think, in life when you make a big change like from school to university. So Swami had called my father and me for an interview, and he'd sat down and asked what I was doing, and then he gave me a robe, one of his robes, orange. It's slightly different to the orange that you normally see, actually. And it was in a bag, a white bag, and he gave it to me and he said, "Where will you keep it?" And I didn't really know what the answer was, but so I didn't say anything. And he said, "Well, in your room you have one big cupboard. Next to that you have a small cupboard with a lock. You keep it in there." And I think the thing is that you realise that his omniscience, really. Second experience was actually in 2004. So I'd gone there for a medical camp around the villages in Puttaparthi. And I was again very fortunate. Swami called me with my family that time for an interview, and he asked me what I was doing, and I told him I was just finishing my postgraduate exams. So he said, "Okay, you finish them and then you come here." And that was it. And I think, you know, obviously it's a big deal that he said, you know, leave, you know, having lived here almost my whole life to move there. And what happened is then I was finishing my exams and I was planning to move in August. That's when we'd normally move, and there was a 3-month notice period. And one day he called my father and said, in about sort of early May, and said, "Right, he should come here next month." So my father called me up and said, you know, Swami said you have to come next month. And I said, no, it's 3 months notice. So next time he talked to Swami a day or so later, he said, Swami, he says 3 months. And Swami said, no, 1 month. So I went back to work, and then I found out from our HR department that in fact the rules had changed. There was only 1 month's notice. So again, Swami showed, exactly that he knows what's happening. And so I did go in June that year, sort of a month later, and every time I'd been for the last 10 years or more, Swami every time had called for interview once or twice. That time I went and he didn't say anything for months. So sitting there in darshan, I was revising because we had to sit some exams. But the day after I got the exam result to say that I could start working, that was the first day he walked right to the back of the veranda where I used to sit, the porch outside the mandir, came to me and said, go to hospital. And that was it. So, he just, you don't have to say anything. He knows everything. And I think that, for me, really strengthened my faith.
Wonderful, thank you. And I think a lot of us here share such experiences of omniscience, omnipresence, which strengthen our faith and actually in the first place implant that faith in our lives. So thank you, brother. So back to the audience, and I hope the arms go a bit quicker this time. Has anybody else here had such experiences which have strengthened their faith? It can be it doesn't have to be a big miracle, the smallest day-to-day miracle. Who's experienced something which has confirmed their faith, that has strengthened their faith here? Hands up. We've got a couple of hands. Okay. But we may not realise actually what those day-to-day experiences are that strengthen our faith. So when we start to think about them, to acknowledge them, then it comes to light how Bhagwan is in every part of our day-to-day lives. So Bhagwan says there will be no sorrow on earth if humans realise the lofty meaning of humanity. Mankind is infinite, marvellous and full of meaning and significance. Man is not the body alone. In fact, he is the conglomeration of body, mind and self. The body is the vehicle for action, the mind is the means for realization, and the self is the witness of both the body and the mind. Hence, it is sheer stupidity to think that man is made of the body alone. So thinking about that and thinking of our theme, let's think about this faith to humanity now. So, Sister Nanda, coming to you, what is faith in humanity?
For me, I guess it comes in two parts. So there's the faith within each person, their own, as we've discussed and shared here, is that confidence, that faith, that devotion that you have in whoever, whatever it is you believe in. And then there's the second part, which is the faith in humanity as a whole, that community where we support each other, we look at the kindness and the goodness in each other, we share a common goal or common love between each other. And that's...
Wonderful, thank you. So that's like the practical side to it in a way. So maybe seeing a different side to it, Brother Kailash, what's faith in humanity for you?
I mean, first of all, when we think about humanity, what is humanity? And Swami says, I separated myself from myself to love myself. Okay, so basically, we are all intrinsically divine because we have Swami inside us. Okay, and Swami is love, pure love, and Swami always said that love is God. So we have that. So when we say faith in humanity, what we are essentially doing is humanity is nothing but a representation of that divinity. And when we share our love with the divinity, that's where we can see that we have faith in that humanity as well. That intrinsic divine factor is what brings us all together. And that is where our faith towards that humanity comes together as well. Yes. So all those values that Radha was talking about, love, everything that comes is because we have that divine element within us.
Yes, yes, and that nicely touches on the third key word in our theme, which is the divinity. So humans have fleeting minds. 1 minute we have full faith, 1 minute we have no faith at all. And Baba said that in his discourse. The same mouth says, he is God, he is God, he is God. The same mouth says, he is not God, he is not God, he is not God. So, I definitely expect hands to be going up for this one. So, we have challenges in our life which challenge our faith. So put your hand up if you face challenges at work. Do we face challenges at work? Yeah? What about personal challenges? with our friends, family, or just like we said, like the Malvikas children showed, just within us, of course. And what about worldly problems? There's wars happening, there's inhumane activity happening. Does that challenge anybody's faith? Yeah? Yeah, of course. So when we come down to a personal level, Mahima, can you share any time when your faith has been challenged? Sorry.
My faith, unfortunately, was challenged when my mom was in hospital. As we all know, mothers are prominent figures in our lives that role model the qualities of discipline, patience, and nourishment. My mother, like many here, is a determined hard worker who would put her family before her needs, and I believe that your faith is challenged when you least expect it. For example, on this day, everything was normal up until the time we went to sleep. Suddenly, I remember frantically waking up to the knock on to paramedics at my door, and my mom was being rushed to hospital at 3 in the morning. I was left with so many unanswered questions. After that incident, my life took a full 360. Responsibilities tightened around me because I was juggling both school and house chores while maintaining this brave face in front of my siblings who didn't truly understand the weight of the situation. And although this would put some people in a very, very dark headspace, I had people like my dad who encouraged me to keep going with frequent visits to the hospital. And my family, despite being overseas, they always kept me company. Now, when I reflect on this day, I truly cannot comprehend how I went through it. And when I think about it, I can see that God gave my mother the strength, and I'm thankful that He gave my mother the strength to recover quickly and put all the pain and suffering behind her and thrive throughout life. And she's now in front of you guys, a part of this big community, and I'm very thankful for that.
Thank you so much for sharing. Yes, round of applause. So it just shows that faith being challenged, being strengthened, isn't something that happens later on in life. It happens as soon as from the point we are born, you know, in one way or the other. So, Brother Sunil, you are a doctor, as you said. So how did you come into the medical field to start with?
Well, my interest really started with the building of the first super specialty hospital in Puttaparthi. So we'd actually only just come into Swami's fold then in 1990, soon after he declared that the hospital would be built in a year, so a couple of months later, in fact January 91. And at that time there was, you know, we were told the hospital will be built here, but we saw it was an absolutely barren, you know, land, rocky, nothing was there. A few months later, driving past, there was the start of a building, and, you know, in November it was incredible that this huge building had come up. My father actually had been involved in designing heart valves, and he got invited to the opening of the hospital in 91, and although we were at school so we weren't there, but obviously when he came back, that was before the days of internet, so, you know, it was, you say bye-bye and you see him a few weeks later and find out what happened, and photos, and obviously we'd seen this new hospital, and, you know, from that time itself I said, right, I want to, you know, do heart surgery, and, you know, here I am sort of 30-something years later, I'm, you know, changing those heart valves and closing those holes in the heart that I always wanted to do. And that's really, for me, when it started.
Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing that. So, my lead-on question is that doctors inspire faith in the public. You know, we look up to doctors, and in some places people say doctors are God. But what can challenge your faith as a doctor yourself?
I mean, that's a good question. I think obviously we're sitting here on Aradhana Day, and for me definitely the biggest challenge to my faith was Swami leaving the physical body. So I'd been in Puttaparthi only about 2 months before that, and in fact he had spoken a couple of words to me then. And although I could see, as a doctor, you saw his physical body looking very frail, and I guess in normal life I would say, right, this person is not got that long left, but of course when he actually did leave us in the physical sense, it was a big shock, and because for most of my life growing up he had been there and we'd had all the interactions. But I think as you grow older, you realise that that the body is just something that will come and go. And unfortunately, in my profession, what I deal with, we do see that all the time. And I think the big thing is to just appreciate that the body is temporary, and we all have our time, and we will all leave. And ultimately, Swami is much more than that physical form, and that's what I've had to learn ever since, really, that he is inside and he's guiding us. And I think, so you can have challenges to faith, but ultimately, I've heard a really wonderful story just before as well of life experience, and we have to overcome those challenges, and that increases our faith.
Definitely, definitely. So Bhajan says that you should welcome tests and difficulties. By overcoming them, your divinity is revealed. So, Sister Radhu, what has tested your faith?
I guess being in similar professions, you have similar challenges. And as doctors, we're taught to always do your best for the patient, do what's in their best interest, and as most people will have heard, do no harm. And then on the flip side, we're also told that you are not God, so don't try to play God. Don't try and act like you can save every single person. And somebody who believes in Swami, believes in God, has faith, and is told, or believes that we are all God, to be told, well, don't try and play God, you get that conflict with people who don't have faith. And that's how you started this conversation, that how do people without faith go on? So when you're working with colleagues who don't have faith or don't have faith in God, but only have faith in the science, there can be a lot of conflict, because you truly believe that, okay, there can be occasions when, again, as a surgeon, as doctors, we are very practical. We have skills, we have tools that we can use. So we always want to do the next thing for the patient. And sometimes Swami just speaks to you and says, well, no, now is the time to just let it be, leave it to me. And for somebody with faith, that's easy to do. Convincing, for me, parents or patients or even colleagues to say, you know what, I think right now, let's just step back and not do anything. That can be a huge challenge.
Thank you. And you touched on a really nice point, that the faith versus science there. So, Brother Sudha, I want to come back to you with a sub-question. Do you have that conflict of faith versus science at all in your work?
I think there is, of course, that, because, as a scientist, you may think, right, well, this should happen or that should happen. But actually, I think medicine is not that type of science. It's not physics, gravity, it's just not that clear. And I think that's probably where the faith comes in, because you know that two people seemingly in the same situation, one will get better, one will not get better. And that's, I think, where faith is different in medicine compared to other sciences. And I think you just have to keep that faith that whatever will happen is for the best. You try your best, and that's all you can do. And then beyond that, it's the faith that God will do whatever is right. That doesn't always mean that someone will live or get better. I think you have to understand that. You just have to understand that whatever is meant to happen will happen. And as long as you're happy that you've done your best, I think that's the main thing.
Yes, yes. So we've talked about challenges with faith. So let's move to the next step. And Brother Kailash, I want to ask you that what has tested your faith in humanity?
In humanity, We used to do a Seva project for refugees and asylum seekers in a Baptist church in Newcastle, and I remember this very clearly. And after, there was a career guidance workshop and career guidance work that we were doing. And there was this one lady whom we met. She was from Sudan, and she wanted to come and find a job. She had 2 daughters, but the only problem was she couldn't enter the same room where another man is sitting. So when I was actually sitting there helping out with resumes and all those things, she didn't want to come in, and she was shivering. And then the person basically who runs that refugee drop-in service, she brought her in. And later on, that lady actually started telling me her experience where in Sudan, the Sudanese army had killed her husband and her 2 sons right in front of her eyes and assaulted her repeatedly, a lot of people. So it left an indelible mark and a great sense of trauma on not only this lady, but also on the 2 daughters as well. And it came to a stage where she couldn't actually even stay in the same room where another man was there, and that's the situation that she was in. Later on, when she was talking to me, one thing that came to my mind is, Swami always says this, that body, they were just talking about body. And body is just something that comes and goes. Your real identity is that true self, that Atma. And whatever experiences that the body has gone through, we don't have to identify as that is the only experience that makes you or breaks you. And that's what we started talking to her about. We said that's one-off experience. Don't lose your faith in humanity. But at that time, her faith in humanity was completely shattered. Later on, we found a job in a vegetable cutting factory for her, and she worked really hard. She worked 70 hours a week. And then later on, a year down the line, when I got my first Christmas card from her, I still remember, she had bought a small car. And she was perfectly fine, working really hard, had a bank account, and went on with this. And then later on, the 2 children, they got into a school, a higher secondary school. We went through a process, and I'm going through 8 or 9 years being with her. And now she has an apartment. The first child is basically studying in London, doing her graduation. And every time she meets me, this is exactly what she says. Sai Center restored her faith in humanity. That's the difference in it. So, one thing that I want to say is, yes, the situation tested certain things that happens around the world, tests the faith in humanity that we have. Yes, it challenges, but one thing is, Swami is there, and there will be also occasions in your life where that humanity will faith will get restored.
Thank you, Garak, for sharing such a touching experience. And it just shows that Bhagwan has given us the answers to all our challenges in one way or the other, if we look into it carefully. So I'm going to risk another audience participation now, and this requires you to stand up. And I actually know the answers to these questions. If you don't stand up, I will ask you to stand up. Okay? So, stand up if you go to bhajans. Fantastic. So that's most of the hall. Okay. Stay stood up if you ever went to Balvikas or you go to Balvikas. So stay stood up if you ever went to Balvikas or you go to Balvikas.
Does that include teaching?
Yes, yeah. Definitely. If you're a teacher as well, stay stood up. Excellent, so many of us. And stay stood up or stand up again if you take part in any seva activities. So a good number of us again. Okay, that's stretched our legs, you can all sit down now. So, I would like to go to Mahima again. How do the activities that you participate in, because you're active in Bradford Sai Centre, Bhajan, Seva, when there's local functions happening, you're actively involved. So how does all of that help strengthen your faith?
Bhajans, Seva and Balvikas, they all surround God and help us embrace our inner souls. In all these occasions, I'm presented an opportunity to deepen my understanding of God's teachings about love, compassion, and generosity. For example, while taking part in charity, I can strengthen my relationships between family members and experience a sense of fulfillment because I bring smiles on so many people's faces. Another event is when our center held the tree planting service to contribute to a greener future. Here I met people that, although they were from a different faith, they held this passion for bettering the future for future generations. And I was taught that although we may come from different cultures, we're all working together, coming together as a community to provide for one another because we have faith in God's creation. And we're able to better the world for us and also the people, like the children here.
Thank you, Mahima. So a really important point, having that satsang, that gathering of similar mindset, similar faith, similar goal, can really help strengthen our own faith. And that's why we're all here today, aren't we? Because we can share our energies and our love between us. So Bhajan says that man must achieve unity in thought, word and deed. And achieving that leads us from humanity to divinity. So back to Brother Sunil. How does unity in thought, word and deed feed into your day-to-day medical work?
I think for me the main thing is how you treat people. So I think if you think good about them, you will speak well to them, you will act well towards them. And of course in the medical field we often think about the patients, or that's we first think about, but actually I think it also really applies to those working with you. Now, when I was working in Puttaparthi, it was a lot easier maybe because you're surrounded by devotees, people with the same ambitions, but I think the truth is humanity everywhere is present, and most people are good people, and my own experience is that when you are good to others, you think well, you speak well to them, you act well with them, that is very much reciprocated as well. So it doesn't matter really which environment you're in, where you are, what you're doing. I think that ability to have that unity in thought, word and deed in your day-to-day life will show, I guess, that divinity.
Yes, definitely. Thank you. So, okay, we can achieve thought, word and deed through the tips that you gave us, but Sister Radha, what can challenge unity in thought, word and deed?
For me, it comes back to the idea that when people don't have faith, bringing them into your same field of thought, word and deed can be a challenge. Like Brother Sunil says, when we see the divinity in the people around us, it is easy to have that same connection with them. No matter what your job is, whether it's at school as well, anytime anybody challenges or questions your thinking, your faith, your reasoning, it brings you back into that thought pattern and saying, well, am I right in saying this? For instance, it's a teacher, somebody older, a senior, if they question your thinking and say, well, you decided to do this for your test, or you decided to do this in this situation, whether it's an argument or treating a patient. And then you think, well, no, at that moment, Swami spoke to me, and how do you express that to somebody who doesn't have faith, and tell them, well, actually, it's just, I just knew. And then suddenly you find yourself similar to the play where you get the doubt coming in there as well and saying, well, maybe Swami was wrong this time, or maybe shall we just listen to the senior here? Otherwise, the ramifications, I could get punished, I could be fired, I won't be able to do my job as well. So then suddenly your deeds and your words start to change. Although you keep it in connection with the people around you in the same manner that you would, you find that your thoughts have changed around a certain thing, you start saying different things, you start doing different things, and then you're not aligned with yourself, and that's a challenge because that then diminishes your self-confidence. Just like we had in the play where the doubt came in and it was, should I just listen to the AI? Should I go back to social media? And especially in the world around us at the moment where there's so many different things challenging our thinking, it's difficult when, like Brother Sunil says, when you're in an environment like this where everybody gets you, where you're in Puttaparthi or working in Swami's school or Swami's hospital, the patients understand that faith and the spirituality, then it's so much easier. You're all on one track. But once you start having different tracks, then you get confused as well. Again, the play just depicts everything so beautifully.
Yes, and that's what really challenges your faith, doesn't it? When you're in a situation where everybody doesn't share the same mindset, what do you do there to align the mindset? Thank you. So, Brother Kailash, how does faith in divinity help with faith in humanity?
I mean, the whole of humanity is his canvas, isn't it? At the end of the day, Swami actually has created this. And when we actually have faith in the divine, automatically it rubs off and it goes to other people in the humanity as well. And when they show faith and when their faith is answered, it comes to, we get the reassurance as well. For example, I'll give you a simple example. I was requested to come one day to a prison, South Shields prison, basically as an interpreter for a person who was just arrested. And from the Tamil Sangam, they had sent us, so I just went in, and that was the first time I had gone to a prison. So as an interpreter volunteer, I was just talking around with people, and there was this lady cop with whom I was talking, and I said, I've never been to a prison before, this is my first time. And she said, oh, she started telling a lot of things about her job and everything. So later on, I was talking to her and said, what is the worst thing of being a policewoman? Then she told, sometimes it's insulting. Like we go on to a routine check and we make a few arrests sometimes on a Friday or a Saturday. And then there are these young adults who insult us. So I looked at her and she said, somebody who tries to come and attack, that's okay. But some people spit at you. These young people, we go and we actually take them off the streets because they are doing drugs or something. And they spit. And there are many occasions, and she told, I get spit on me, like all the time, where basically at least 5 or 6 times a week it happens. And every time it happens, it just feels so insulting, and I feel so infuriated with the way in which these people are, the young lads are. So when I was talking about different things later on about my faith, she asked me, what's the name of the God that you're praying to? And I said, it's Sai Ram. So just to keep it simple, Sai Ram. Then she said, oh, you believe you have faith in Sai Ram? Then I said, yeah, I have faith in Sai Ram. Then she said, so do you think Sai Ram can sort this problem for me in my work? I said, absolutely. Sai Ram can sort this problem out. And I left the place. I didn't actually talk anything later. 8 months later, there was another call for a volunteering work in the same prison. Went there, and she came to me, the same lady, came to me, held onto my hand, and she said, she showed me a keyring. And the keyring had this word Sai Ram written on it.
Oh, wow.
And she said she has actually kept in her Northumbria petrol vehicle, the vehicle that they use, Northumbria police petrol vehicle, she has got a particular thing saying Sai Ram. And I asked why? And she said, from the time I started keeping this Sai Ram thing in my petrol vehicle, nobody has come and attacked me. For the last 8 months, nobody has come and insulted me. Nobody tried to spit on me. Same people whom I've been arrested. So she said, it worked. And honestly speaking, for me, it was just a common, simple dialogue, right? And from here, my faith in Sai Ram is one thing, but on that day, her experience strengthened my faith on Sai Ram. You know what I mean? So it's both the ways. It's not my faith alone. It's their faith after that. And not only that, now there is a petrol vehicle in Northumbria Police with Sai Ram written on it in the front with a thing. And none of the other officers who use it, because it's a shared vehicle, none of the other officers remove that particular thing because they also have a feeling in their thought, probably this is working for me too. You know? So it's happening in the society.
Wonderful, wonderful. It just shows how that faith in divinity improves the faith in humanity. So we are coming to the end of our session. So we're going to have some very quick fire tips from each of our panelists here. So just in a sentence or so, I'm going to start with Mahima. How do you use your personal values to help others?
My personal values as a diversely ethnic person has brought hundreds of people to smile every day and further strengthen my respect towards the people on their religious journey to God. One of the qualities is kindness. I show kindness through acts of compassion. For example, when we provided sanitary kits for women and children in need, I showed kindness because I was contributing to a greater cause. I thought about people that needed things more than myself. And another example is the 100 Years of Love that we're taking part in now. Every week we have to contribute an amount of money to contribute to people who need it more than myself. I need to sacrifice something, which I will, because I know it will help out somebody else in the future.
Yes, so that's like your Ceiling on Desires project, isn't it? Thank you very much, Mahima. So, Sister Radhu, why is it important to realise your own divinity? In just a couple of words.
Yeah, for me, knowing your own divinity is knowing your true self, and it brings you to your true purpose. And that brings that self-confidence that every day, whatever I'm doing is taking me towards my final goal. And I have confidence then that no matter what I do, it's helping myself, it's helping the others, and my purpose is fulfilled.
Yes, and the thing that we often forget is realising your own divinities, valuing yourself, which we often don't do. Brother Sunil, what does it mean to understand your own divinity?
I think for me, understanding your own divinity is through your own behaviour. I mean, Brother Kailash has given a couple of wonderful examples really about what he's done and how that's impacted people around him in a really, touching way. And our play today also showed, I think, similar things. So I think, if your divinity really will come out through your humanity in your day-to-day living.
Yes, thank you, very nicely put. And finally, Brother Kailash, to wrap up our session, how can we move from humanity to divinity?
I mean, we are puppets in his hands, isn't it? And he makes sure that we realize the divinity at the end of the day, right? Small experience, if that's okay. We have this normal, usual thing where we go to elderly devotees who have stopped coming to the Sai Center. And we go to their house once in a year, just spend some time with them, have a meal and things. So there was this devotee called Dr. Ranasinghe, who was part of 40 years, 50 years back. He was part of the setup of the Newcastle Sai Center. So one fine day I had this thought, which again sowed by Swami, to go and visit I was going through the diaries, the old diaries of membership, and I saw Dr. Ranasinghe's name. So then we fixed up an appointment to go and meet him because we haven't seen him for a long time. And we went to his house, and the next day, that was a Wednesday, and I remember It was an empty house with just one carer, and the house was completely quiet when we entered. We went to the last room. It was a very beautifully decorated house. We went to the last room of that apartment, and there he was lying down. He was probably in his 90s, and he had severe dementia, and he didn't even recognize us. And the carer who was taking care of him, she is from Sri Lanka, and she told, "You came bang on time. Tomorrow I am leaving to Sri Lanka because I can't be here anymore. So we are going to move him to a care home for good." Dr. Ranasinghe has 2 daughters, both of them live in London. So they felt he's better off basically living there, living in a care home. And he has severe dementia, so he can't actually identify anybody. So when we went there, when we spoke, he didn't really recognize us or anything. But interesting point, somebody was telling about Swami talking to us. Before I left the house, I had a feel that Swami told me, take Bhajan CD, just Bhajan CD. So I thought, to a person who was into his 90s, what can we take when we go and meet him? So since I heard Swami's voice clearly in my ear, I took 3 or 4 Bhajan CDs with me and went in. And the silence inside that apartment was really, really killing me. So he was lying down in one place. So I asked this carer to just turn on these Bhajan CDs and keep playing it. Okay. And the carer said, of course, I will do that. So she kept playing it. And by the end of the first bhajan, the Ganesh bhajan, when we were about to leave, he looked at us and smiled at us when we were about to leave. Till then, he didn't even move his neck. He didn't even recognize that there were other people in the room. And he left. Next day, I got a call from this carer to say that Dr. Ranasinghe has passed away. When I went for the funeral, she came and she told us, you know what, till that day, he never used to really eat, never used to actually look at her or anything like that. But that day, from the time the bhajan series went on, the bhajan was going on, that day he ate a little. He slept really nicely. He was smiling, looking at her all the time. And he was at peace. And he said, those bhajans really did a world of good. Now, when we think about it, what kind of life did Swami give him? And what kind of end did Swami give him? Yeah, the whole world has forgotten that person when you think about it. He is actually lying down in a place. Nobody else is there next to him. He is old. He doesn't even know who he is because of dementia. But who didn't forget him? Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba. So he made sure some of his puppets will go there, make sure there will be bhajans running. He can have a nice last meal, and he can actually merge with the divine. So this entire humanity is set out in such a way that we can become puppets of Bhagavan, so that every person in this humanity can merge with Bhagavan. So we are just puppets helping each other out. That is how I understand it.
So Bhajan says in a discourse titled Humanity and Divinity, our Vice Chancellor has appealed to me to speak about the relationship that marks humanity and divinity. In reality, there exists no relationship between the two. There is only reality. Relationship is said to exist when things are separate. There is no room for relationship when man and God are one and the same. Jiva and Deva, Kshetra and Kshetrajna are only one. It is the want of this kind of broad-mindedness which causes misunderstanding and differences. Truth is one, but not two. There is nothing like the American truth, the Pakistani truth, the Italian truth, the Chinese truth, and the Indian truth. Truth is only one, and truth is God. Jai Sai Ram, everyone. And thank you to our devotees from across the region who have shared their thoughts with us.
Jai Sai Ram, everyone. Right. I've scribbled a few things here. What a wonderful and insightful discussion about faith. It is so refreshing to hear the thoughts and views of our young children. Well done, Mahima. I was so engrossed in listening to the panel. It was absolutely beautiful. Thank you, panel, because it's refreshed. And I'm reflecting. And then I'll go home and I'll remember what we have all heard about our faith and how the faith will lead us to the humanity and to divinity. It is just absolutely, I can't believe how engrossing the experiences were. Wonderful, wonderful. And I'm sure we can all relate to some of those experiences ourselves. So, I'm Vasanti Vaja, and do I have to read this? No. I'm Joint Regional Healthcare Coordinator, and I share the role with Gurudat Sisodia, who is an orthopedic consultant. Okay. And our next item is a bit of a tongue twisting. Is a musical item from our young adults. It is a series of bhajans around our theme, put together with short narratives before each bhajan, which will take us through the journey from faith to humanity to divinity. The musical is titled River of Love. Har prani mein sai, which means sai resides in every living being. Jai Sai Ram.
Swami, without faith, we cannot exist. With faith, we coexist. We're nurtured and protected. Faith is an evolution that carries us across this illusionary world. The vision of you in all forms guides and uplifts us to see your true divine reality in all beings and all things. May our life's journey be wrapped in bliss and devotion, for you are life itself. We cling onto you. Selflessness is achieved by serving others, the forlorn, destitute, and decrepit. Who else are we serving but you, O precious Lord? Faith in you allows us to develop love and share it with others. Just as your divine smile penetrates our soul, we pray that our smile can reach those yearning for it. Making you happy through others should be our life's permission that forever connects us to you. Swami, hearing and chanting your name destroys all obstacles, worries, and tribulations. Grateful are we to chant your glories. May thy name rest on our lips and in our minds. Only through these vibrations can our faith be bolted and transcend us to your abode.
Sairam everyone. Thank you very much for blissful musical offering. You have virtually transported us to Puttaparthi. Thank you very much. My name is Muthu Kumar. I am Region 5 Service Corps. Our next speaker is Malcolm Throgood from Cumbria. He used to be a total skeptic about anything religious, but the death of his daughter when she was just 14 started him exploring many aspects of spirituality, including stories about Swami, two of which he included in his 2018 spiritual book, The Soul Must Go On. Since then, Swami has become a big influence in his life, with a number of Swami experiences resulting in him feeling compelled to go to Puttaparthi. A few months ago, he is here now to tell us all about it. Thank you.
Saram, everyone. I'm overwhelmed with emotion and gratitude that I've been invited here to share my experiences of Swami with you today. You know, we're all so lucky to have faith in Swami. Christians, of course, have their faith in Jesus, and Muhammad, Muslims in Muhammad, but we're extra lucky to have faith in Sasha Sai Baba, because he was and is God walking on this planet, actually during our lifetime. How wonderful is that? It gives absolute authenticity to our faith. So how did I get my faith in Swami? Well, as the introduction said, in the research for my book, I came across a number of stories, of course, about Swami, two of which were told to me by a friend, firsthand, so I included those in my book about spirituality. And then one day I was walking home to my house from Grasmere village in the Lake District, and I saw this little sign beside the road that said Sai Retreat in the Lake District. I thought, well, it can't be Sai Baba, surely. And I made some inquiries, and amazingly, the Sai Baba retreat was being held 300 or 400 yards from my house. So my wife and I came as day visitors. We were made to feel very, very welcome. We met Stanjay, of course, and probably possibly some of you others at that time. And following on from that, my wife and I have every Sunday morning had what we call our Sai Baba meditation session from 8 to 8:30. But I find meditation very difficult, and I'm always looking at the wall clock every 5 minutes thinking, how much longer have we got to do this? Anyway, one Saturday night during lockdown, my wife had gone to bed. It was quite late, and I was watching videos on YouTube about Sai Baba. One of which was about an American who had some vibhuti appear to him and became a devotee as a result. And I don't know whether I said it out loud or under my breath, but I said, Sai Baba, I've written 2 chapters about you in my book. I have a Sai Baba session every Sunday morning. Why don't you come and manifest something for me? Bit of a cheek. And then right after that, I just happened, out of coincidence, to read his advice on meditation. He said, just visualize me, my feet work up and so on, my afro hair and so on. So I was very keen to try that out the following morning, Sunday morning. So, curtains drawn in our bedroom, candle lit by his picture, sit down, and I'm trying to visualize him. And immediately he came in, I kid you not, through the bedroom door. It was closed, the bedroom door. He came in through the door, and he came and sat on I'm sitting in a chair, and he came and sat on the bed beside me. I couldn't believe it. I was so embarrassed. And then I glanced up at the clock, and it said 8:29. I had no idea where that 29 minutes had gone. I said, oh, Sai Baba, I'm so sorry. I should never have asked you to come. I do apologise. I already believe 100% in God, and that's enough. And he went. Well, right after that, my wife and I went for a walk along the lake shore near our house. And I was telling her this, and she says, oh, yes, Malcolm, yeah. You know, he's even more loopy than normal. And we carried on, and during lockdown, we used to carry a flask of coffee. And there's a rock at the end of the lake, a dome-top rock, smooth rock, at the end of the lake. And we sat on, always used to, every day, sit on this rock and have a coffee from the flask. And I finished my coffee and I stood up, and Nicole said to me, what's that underneath you? I turned around, and it was this ring. I kid you not. And I picked it up, and it's engraved with I am enough. The very word that I had used just 40 minutes before in St. Swami. I couldn't believe it. I'm very sceptical. But because why would he manifest a ring for some unknown guy in the Lake District? It didn't make sense to me at all. But fortunately, I have a friend who has a friend called Mary, who is a volunteer at Present in Ilium, has been there for 25 years. She's Scottish, but she's been there, lives in Puttapati. And so I said, can you phone Mary? Tell her what's happened. Tell her I'm sceptical, because there's no reason why he would do this. And see if she thinks it's genuine. The message came back. Absolutely, Malcolm. In my experience, this is genuine. And in the conversation, I learned that poor Mary had actually just returned to her native Scotland, and she'd stretched herself financially to buy a house way, way out in the country, right up north, almost as far as you can go up in Scotland. And she was distraught because on moving in, she discovered there was no proper water supply to the cottage, to the house. I said, it's no problem. Tell her my wife and I will pay for a borehole for her and a pump and so on. We'll put a system in. I'd had experience of putting in 2 boreholes in the Lake District, so I knew what I was talking about. And then, of course, we realised that that ring wasn't manifested for me. It was manifested so I would phone my friend would phone Mary and so on. And this most devoted devotee who'd served Swami at Present in Ilium for all those years would get her water. It wasn't. And of course Swami did bring water to millions of people in southern India, as I'm sure you all know. So I wanted to roll forward now to October 2022. I tripped over a stump beside the road, crashed down on the tarmac near my house, and I broke my femur right here, into the bit which goes into the hip. And they patched me up, well, they repaired it with a rod down here, 2 rods up this way. And the surgeon said, at your age, it's going to be, I'm afraid, at least 6 months, maybe a year before you're back to normal. Okay. Well, I had a follow-up appointment 8 weeks later at the hospital. And about 10 days before that, out of the blue, I got a text from a friend of mine, a lady friend, she's a medium and clairvoyant. She said, you won't believe this, Malcolm, but the spirit of Sai Baba has just appeared in front of me, orange robe, everything, the whole bit. And he says he's going to help Malcolm in the next 3 weeks. Okay. Well, I hobbled down from the car park about 200 yards with my crutch, like this, limping away down to the hospital. And the receptionist said, yes, it's down the end of the corridor, turn right, along the next corridor, and it's at the end. I said, well, thank you very much. I didn't put my crutch on the ground once. I'd gone 20 paces and I thought, this is a miracle. When I got home, my wife just couldn't believe how much I'd improved. I said, we have to go to Puttaparthi to thank him. I mean, I could not go, could I? So we went this last November, end of November, last 3 days of November, first 2 days for 5 days. And it was the most amazing experience because very first day we're in the Kulwant Hall, and I'm sure you all know that, well, the men will know that down the men's side against the wall is a long bench, must hold probably 70 men, where all the older men like me sit. And so I'm sitting there squashed in because it's jam-packed full. And I thought, the chanting started, and about 20 minutes in I became very emotional. I thought, I'm going to try and visualise Swami as he would have been standing there in his heyday. And I did, he was there. And I said, oh Swami, I've come to thank you for mending my leg. And jump! He jumped, and he was right in front of me like this here, because I'm sitting down, his chest is here in my face. And I just melted into him. And it was such a beautiful experience. I tried to repeat it over and over again. I couldn't, just that day and following days, I just couldn't. Well, we were staying in the little hotel right opposite the ashram, the Sai Towers, and we went to dinner that evening, and there was a gentleman sitting on the next table, all by himself. If you had asked artificial intelligence to bring us back to the children, if you asked artificial intelligence to create the perfect looking guru, it would have been this man. Beautiful long white beard, beautiful curly moustache and long flowing hair, Indian of course, quite dark skin, and he seemed to be very introspective and praying all the time. So we simply said, Sai Ram, Sai Ram. The next day at dinner, he's there again. So this time, I kind of plucked up the courage and waited for a pause in his prayers. And I said, you may be interested to know that Sai Baba manifested this ring for me 3 years ago. He said, can I have it? So I gave him the ring. And he held it in his cupped hands and he said, oh yes. He said, and he held it maybe for 3 minutes. And then he took the ring and he held it against his forehead for 3 minutes. Then he put it on the table, said a prayer, gave it back to me. Well, the following day, the third day, he's there again. But by this time, we'd asked the waiters, who is this chap? And they didn't know. And they said, he's not staying in the hotel and we're not too sure where he's from. So that was a bit odd, because he's always sitting at this next table. So this time, I said to him, you may be interested to know that I've come, especially for England, to thank Sai Baba for mending my leg. Why have you come here? He said, I've come here for you. Well, at the time, I just thought it was a strange thing to say, and he got on with his prayers. That was it. But when we got back to England, and I was thinking deeply about this, there is actually only one person on this planet who would make any sense to say, I've come here for you, and that's Sai Baba. So is it possible that Sai Baba's spirit could have somehow infiltrated this man in order to talk to me, or perhaps he materialised himself as this man. I don't know. But I've identified 5 other clues that all point to it could have been Sai Baba. But, you know, I really don't know. Anyway, now back to the Kulwant Hall. The second day, sitting there all squashed in, chanting started. After about half an hour, the gentleman next to me, Indian gentleman, gets up and goes. And almost immediately, another man came and sat there. And I turned to say, sorry, and he was covered, kid you not, he was covered in smallpox blisters. And I'm terrified. I don't know anything about smallpox, but I get nervous these days if somebody next to me starts coughing in case it's COVID. So I said, my mind's just going 12 to the dozen like this. And I started to panic. I thought, I can't sit here. I got up and I went. And the minute I got outside the Kulwant Hall, it hit me. You fool, Malcolm. Swami was testing you, testing your faith in him to sit there, and you failed. I just knew it. I mean, it just hit me like a ton of bricks. I was so upset. I spoke to other devotees that evening. Oh, Malcolm, I'm afraid it does sound like it was a test and you failed. So, the next day we heard that a few thousand devotees were coming from Nepal on a gratitude mission. So I thought better get in the queue early for the 4 o'clock opening of the doors, otherwise I might not get in. And I was number 5 in the queue. So when I got into the Kulwant Hall, of course, I had the whole bench to myself. And I sat about a third of the way along. I'd sat there for about 2 minutes, maybe 2 other men had come in and sat down on that bench. And I suddenly see the smallpox man walking along the bench like this. And where does he sit? He sits right here next to me, almost touching me. And it suddenly hit me. Under my breath, of course, I didn't speak out loud. I started laughing. I was killing myself. And I said, you monkey, Swami, you've been playing tricks on me, haven't you? But thank you for giving me another chance. And I turned to the gentleman and I said, do you speak English? He said, no, Hindi. And of course I stayed rooted to the spot. Anyway, the chanting started, the service started and so on. I had my eyes closed. I find it, most of the time I was in the Kulwant Hall, I had my eyes closed. And when I opened them, the smallpox man had gone and there was another man sitting there. I kid you not. I kid you not. Well, I started this little talk today saying how lucky we are to have faith in Swami. You know, I nearly blew it in for the party that first time with the smallpox man, but thanks to Swami, he gave me another chance. So thank you, Swami. Thank you for this ring. Thank you for mending my hip. Thank you for playing the tricks on me. I really enjoyed it. And thank you for giving me another chance. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are all so lucky to have faith in Swami. There's one more thing I forgot to say, which is I'm so grateful to be here, to be able to express my faith in front of all you devotees. It means so a lot. Thank you for listening.
Sairam, everybody. My name is Harsha and I am the Joint Region 5 Balvikas Coordinator. I just had to check that that's actually what I'm doing. And with me, I work alongside Sister Gayatri, who I believe is in London, supporting Vijay with the London Marathon, so that's very exciting. I'd just like to offer our sincere thank you to Brother Malcolm for that exceptional talk. I think we can all take something from that, can't we? I wrote a couple of points which really struck me, and I think maybe some of these things resound with you as well. The first one was, there's no such thing as a coincidence, is there? We all know it as a psi-incidence. It's something that Swami has planned. And the next thing was, when a challenge presents to us, perhaps we shouldn't be worried about it. Perhaps the first thing we should say is, thank you, Swami, this is a chance for promotion, and hopefully meet those things that he needs us to. I'd like to now introduce our next item, which will be offered by the Halifax Balvikas children. So their offering is called The Invisible Chairs of Faith. So this offering reiterates the necessity of faith in self, faith in the family, faith in God, and how to lead a happy and meaningful life. So please join me in giving Halifax Balvikas a very warm welcome to the stage.
we all sit in invisible chairs of faith, knowingly or unknowingly. To lead a peaceful, meaningful, and successful life, it is crucial for everyone to have faith in oneself, in their family, and most importantly, faith in God. Self-confidence is a superpower. Once we start to believe in ourselves, magic starts to happen.
GCSEs are coming and I didn't finish half of my syllabus. What am I going to do? How do I even achieve my dreams of studying in the best of the universities if I don't even pass the first hurdle? If you are there, God, come and help me. God, where are you? Who are you? How did you just appear in this locked room?
It's strange that you just called me and asking me that, who I am.
Are you God? You don't look like God. You look like a businessman.
Yep, I am God. And remember, God can be in any form. Now get on with your question.
Okay, if you say so, how can I go to my dream university?
Just trust in yourself that you can do whatever you want in spite of every imaginable setback which comes in your way. Let me show you how two children overcame their obstacles in playing instruments by just believing in themselves and not giving up.
Oh my days, I am not able to play even a single note. It's better if I quit.
Tell me about it. I am not even trying cut for this instrument.
Wait a minute. Let's practice for some more time before we decide if we can actually play the instruments or not.
Yes, let's just believe in ourselves and practice more.
Is it not impressive to see them playing the instruments so well, in spite of their initial self-doubts? So trust yourself, and I assure you that you'll be successful in your endeavour.
Thank you for your assurance. From now on, I trust myself and try my level best to secure a place in my dream university. I pursue the best university because I trust what Swami says. Education must award in self-confidence. Not only that, self-confidence is a foundation to attain the highest goal of one's life, that is self-realization. In this way, I am taking the first step towards a giant leap to attain self-realization.
We are all interdependent on each other. One way of achieving access to a successful life is to have faith in our family members. To believe in what has to be followed is an entirely different ball of game and needs our discretion. In Ramayana, we have many examples of faith in the most challenging times. We see such an example of Mother Sumitra, who supports Lakshmana's decision to follow his brother Rama to the forest by giving him great advice when they're preparing for their exile.
You know what my mum says? She says I can become a doctor if I put my mind into it. It's so frustrating. I don't believe her that I can become a doctor.
My brother says that I can go to Cambridge University if I wanted to, just like him, and that I am smart enough to study there. I know I have the potential, but I'm not sure if it's my cup of tea.
These adults can't live with them and also without them. Let's leave this for now and watch the Ramayana. I love the beautiful costumes and the dialogues.
I love to watch Ramayana. It may inspire us to make the right choices.
My sole wish of having you as my son is to accompany Rama to the forest. Remember one thing, Lakshmana. From today the forest would be the kingdom. See your brother Rama as King Dasharatha. See Sita as myself. Treat her as your own mother. Treat Rama as your own father.
I will follow your advice, Mother, because unlike Mother Katie, you gave me the right advice. I will treat and serve them as my parents.
Go to the forest and serve them. I give my blessings. I am glad that I have given the right advice, because I realized from their childhood that Lakshmana is part of Rama, and I realized he is happy standing by his brother, even though adversity. I know his loyalty is a great inspiration to mankind forever.
I know I made the right choice to follow my elder brother, Rama, due to my unwavering faith, love, and commitment to him through times of joy and adversity alike. I am worshipped along with my brother Rama, even today. Jai Shri Ram.
Wow, what an inspirational message this is for me. Lakshmana has chosen a most difficult path and followed his mother's advice. After all, my challenge is not even that much difficult as Lakshmana's. I've changed my mind now. I'll follow my mother's advice and go for it. What about you?
True. We are lucky enough to have someone who believes in us. So just like Lakshmana, I will have faith in my brother and follow his lead.
This story reminds me how Swami has fulfilled 3 small wishes of Mother Ishwarama: to have a school, a hospital, and to provide drinking water in Puttaparthi. Swami has shown immense faith in his mother by honouring her simple wishes and paving the way for huge humanitarian projects all over the world.
Let's respect our parents and elders by having faith in them, because they are our well-wishers.
Swami says, you have faith in the driver of your car, in the engineer who built your house. So too, believe in the inner motivator, the Atma within, the voice of God. Mirabai is a mystical poet and devotee of Lord Krishna, who was given poison by the king because he was not happy with her devotional attitude. However, because of her devotion and faith in Lord Krishna, the poison became nectar.
I really don't know how do people have faith in God. I don't really think that is a good idea to believe in invisible power when we can achieve anything if we have faith in ourselves and other human beings who are visible.
Hey, look, I can see someone just appear here. I'm scared and I'm going home. Bye.
Don't be afraid. I am a messenger of God, and believe me, sometimes faith in God is all you need in life. So, do you trust me?
Not really, no. I don't trust you or God. I don't trust that you will protect me.
Don't you want to try at least? We will do some simple exercises to help you gain the faith. First, say I trust you, God.
Just 2 seconds ago, I said I don't. But actually, I want to trust you because you came from all the way from where, maybe heaven?
Great. Spread your hands and say I trust you, God, and fall back.
You are kidding, right? Anyway, I'll have a go. Here I come. You better catch me. Yahoo! Now I have faith that because you have safely caught me.
Great. You passed your level 1. Now, for level 2, stand towards me.
Wow. Level 2 is simple. I'll fall towards you, and definitely you will catch me this time. See, aren't I brilliant?
Not so simple. Now say I trust you, God, and fall back.
Are you joking? There's no one there to catch me. I can't. I won't fall for your silly trick.
I knew you would say that. That's why I want to go back in time and show you how faith can turn poison into nectar.
Do you see the bowl of poison, Giridhar? The king thinks that if I am forced to consume poison, I will give up my faith in you. But how is it possible, Krishna, when testing times like this come, not one, but I can drink hundreds of bowls of poison, and I have full faith in you that you will protect me.
What an incredible faith you have in me, Meera. I am very pleased with your devotion for me. When this poison turns into nectar, not only the king, but the whole world will believe what a great devotee you are and remember you for your faith. People sing your devotional songs for a long time.
watching Mira's faith, surely by now you must have got a little bit of faith in God, that you will be protected. All I am asking is you fall back and relax. So, shall we try the exercise now?
Definitely. It's an eye-opener. I will do the exercise now. As you said, I will now relax. Trust God and see what happens when I fall back, even when God is invisible to me. Here I go.
When I am here, life here, when I am here. So say Baba,
Faith is like a small lamp in a dark forest. It does not show everything at once, but gives enough light for the next step to be safe. Keeping faith in God enhances the faith in oneself and in own capabilities. Let our faith always be bigger than our fears, because faith sees the invisible, believes in unbelievable, and receives the impossible.
When I am here,
Thank you to the Balvikas children and the gurus and the parents as well. I was intrigued by the title, Invisible Chairs of Faith, but a few points that I took away. Self-confidence is a superpower, so trust in yourself, and it's a step to self-realization. And also about having faith in your family is important, and how faith can turn poison into nectar as well. So I'm Sanjay Vaja, I'm the Regional Media Coordinator. So if anybody is interested in media, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, video editing, photography, design of flyers or websites, please let me know. So I was asked to write a poem related to our theme for today's event. So here it goes. Is faith the place where our spiritual journey begins, or is it from a calling that comes from within? Do we have faith at the start, or does it come later on? Or is it the beat of our own heart song? We've heard lots of thoughts and experiences today. I'll share some of my own now in my own poetic way. There was no calling, at least that I was aware. I ended up in Prashanti, Swami in front of me standing right there. I became quite curious, many questions I did pose. The answers they came, sitting in those darshan rows. From Swami's sparks, from humanity as a whole, every encounter in some way plays a role. Divinely orchestrated, a phrase which I love, be ready to receive from all around and above. I haven't read many books, I don't meditate very much. Humanity taught me about Swami, my heart he did touch. Through humanity and life, working with many of you here, my faith grew in Swami, he's become a friend very dear. Divinity sends me humans each and every day, to teach me and help me increase my faith along the way. Those small things sign moments when I look up and smile. I know that it was Swami who does it with style. That's what I mean about being ready to receive. Your life will change subtly in ways you won't quite believe. When you finally realize Swami's with you every day, you feel his guiding hand every step along the way. My path is for me, yours is for you, unique and so personalized by you know who. Was faith there at the start? I don't really know, but throughout my journey it has certainly grown. Our centenary theme for the region is Flake 99, running through our events, reminding us we're divine. Faith, love, acceptance, kindness and experience, essential for every day, not just at our convenience. Humanity is divinity, as Swami is in us all. With faith and love as the roots, our tree will surely grow strong and tall. Sayonara. Okay, thank you. I'll now hand over to our regional president, Ketan Parma, with some closing thoughts. Jai Sayonara.
Jai Sadam, everyone. Firstly, I would like to say how much of a blessing it is to be stood in front of you in this capacity, having grown up with many of you over the last 14 years. Thank you all for joining us today in our Aradhana Mahotsavam 2024. To those of you who are here in the room and those of you online who have joined us too. And this is our first regional programme of 2024, which has been a really good kickstart. So what does Aradhana Mahotsavam mean? Aradhana means worship, prayer. Mahotsavam is a grand celebration. So today has been a grand celebration of our faith, our prayers, and our devotion to Bhajan, which fits in so nicely with the theme. And it's given us an opportunity to reflect on our journey from faith to humanity to divinity as well. So today we started with some lovely opening prayers, Bhagwan's 108 names, beautiful bhajans, and then we went into the first Bal Vikas offering, which was Shraddha and Saburi, and so nicely it summed up this faith to humanity to divinity journey. And the quote which I took away from that was that life isn't 5-minute instant noodles, if I called that correctly, which I'm sure we're all going to take away with us today. Then we went into our panel discussion or our insight session where devotees from around the region shared what they thought about faith, humanity and divinity, and we had some really insightful opinions as well as some beautiful personal experiences. We then had our lovely musical offering, which again, with the narration, took us on a journey from faith to humanity to divinity, and so beautifully those bhajans which we hear day to day were offered in such a unique way. So thank you to those who were involved. Then Brother Malcolm really woke us up with his very entertaining sparks of divinity experiences, and the point which I noted down was when he said, Baba says, think about me, visualize me, and that's something we can all so easily do in our day-to-day lives. Then we had our second Bal Vikas offering, which was titled Invisible Chairs of Faith, and just like Sanjay Bhai, I was very intrigued. But the key message that came out of that was about having firm faith. Just like Meera had on Shri Krishna, we have to have faith in our modern day Krishna, who is Bhagwan Baba here. And of course, our regional event wouldn't be an event if Sanjay Bhai hadn't closed it with his lovely poetry. So thank you, Sanjay Bhai. So, an event like this is not possible without the hard work which happens behind the scenes. So my gratitude, and I'm sure everybody's gratitude, to the full organising committee who have been looking at this Aradhana Mahotsavam programme for the last 2 to 3 months, to the Leeds Sai Centre devotees who were involved on that journey and set up the venue so beautifully today. I'm sure you all gasped when you came in and saw this beautiful mandir that they've created for Bhagwan Baba. We had our media team who have been ensuring that we can hear and see everything today. So that was on this side and on the ladies' side. Of course, the catering team, which we are looking forward to as Mahaprasadam after the closing prayers. And of course to everybody who presented an item today, who worked so hard to prepare, and to everybody who spoke as well. So, well actually I can't say a round of applause just yet, because this all wouldn't have been possible if Bhagwan hadn't worked through each and every one of those individuals. So a round of applause for him. And we are so blessed, the congregation is so blessed to have him sat amongst you today. Now, today we also had our regional committee members introduce themselves as the MCs throughout the program. So if you have any questions, any queries, any suggestions, any thoughts, please do approach those respectful wings and speak to them. We want to hear from you. We want to work all together to celebrate this 100 years of pure love. Now, whilst I am stood in front of you all, I would like to share some regional and national announcements, which you may or may not be familiar with. I can't see the slides, but is the regional slide up? Yes, good. So, firstly, as Sanjay Bhai mentioned, our theme for this year is Flake 99. Now, we all know the ice cream. It's not 99p as it used to be once upon a time, but 99, of course, Bhagwan's divine birthday year. And the flake, as Sanjay Bhai represents faith, love, awareness, kindness, and experience. And we're going to make it a point to make each of those a theme for our events and programs this year. We're going to be having some additional wing initiatives in addition to the usual programs and events we have. So please watch this space, what happens in the Balvikas wing, the service wing, the spiritual wing, and the young adults wing. And this is all preparing for Bhagwan's 100th birthday. I want to also take this opportunity to remind you all of our social media platforms. So we are on YouTube. Today's program will be on YouTube, Facebook and Instagram. So please do follow us to keep up with the regular announcements. Now, I did mention additional wing initiatives, and two of those which are upcoming or are currently running. One of them is the Balvikas Fun Day, which we're going to have in June for all the Balvikas children. So please do watch out for the information about that coming through to your local centres. And also a spiritual initiative nationally is the 1008 Home Bhajans or Community Bhajans initiative. So that's an opportunity for us to go back in time and hold more bhajans at home and go to each other's homes to spread that spiritual energy. So if you would like to host bhajans at your home, please approach your centre president or your centre spiritual wing coordinator, or indeed speak to Brother Santosh and Vinesh whilst you are here today. Now, moving on to some national announcements. So the first big announcement is that the Sri Sathya Sai organisation UK is now a charity incorporated organisation and is now a recognised body by the UK government, which is a massive achievement after all these years of being in the UK. So more information will be coming out about that as the year progresses, but at centre and group level, none of our activities change in any sense. The next is we've got an image of the national events, which are, the calendar, the national events. So we've got National Ishwaramma Day coming up, we've got the Global Young Adults Conference in Prashanthi Nilayam, there's a UK national retreat taking place at the end of August in Leicester. The Sai Smaran Bhajans are yet to be confirmed, but after that we have the Rudra Homam, or the National Prayers for Universal Peace, at the Balaji Temple, followed by the national birthday celebrations, and finally the national Christmas celebrations. So again, please do watch out for information on that. The final two things that I want to mention is that a UK-wide WhatsApp channel has been set up to share UK and international news and information. So if you haven't joined that yet, please do so. The final thing which I would like to mention, and it's really important, is have you provided your GDPR consent to the Sri Sathya Sai organisation UK? Now that we are a CIO, and with law tightening as the days go by, it's really important that we have all the consent, and you know about the privacy statements from the organisation so that we can stay in touch with you. It will come to a point where if you haven't provided us with consent, then unfortunately we will have to stop contacting you legally. So our media coordinator Sanjay Bhai is here with us today, and I think there is a QR code that will appear on the screen. You can scan that Those of you who've got a smartphone with you to fill in the form. It's a really short form. You just use your name, your number and your email address, and you just tick a box. If you don't get around to doing it now, or you need some more help, Sanjay Bhai and a few of us from the media committee will be in the dining hall who are able to assist you. Thank you very much, everybody. We will now be closing with some bhajans, Baba's bhajan, Mangal Aarti, and then we will all be having Mahaprasadam. Jai Sai Ram.
Krishna in Mathura. Krishna in Mathura, Krishna in Dwarka, Shri Hare Krishna, I call your name. Krishna in Mathura, Krishna in Dwarka, Shri Hare Krishna, I call your name. Why don't you come to me? Why don't you answer me? Why don't you wait for me and heed my prayer? Why don't you wait for me and heed my prayer? Krishna in Mathura, Krishna
Vishwa